Well, I appear to be live. I hope I'm live. And let's just hope that that is true. I don't think this is messed up. I think I am live. I think I am live. I think, okay, so that's cool. I think I actually am live. So that was a little bit of a difficult start because I didn't really realize I was live. So, anyway, not to worry. So, what are we doing? I'm going to do about an hour. Do about an hour. It's about 1:56 my time in England. And we'll do an hour till about 2 a.m., or at least anyway how we feel about this. So yeah, I'm trying to sort of like get everything sort of like, why is my camera not even that great? That's kind of irritating a little bit, to be honest with you. Why is the camera not that great? Now it's back on again. Well, the microphone's back on again. Anyway, well, the thing I was sort of more talk about, it's kind of a continuation of what I was talking about on Northside stream. It's kind of like, in what scenario are fans en masse, like fans en masse enough anyway, able to come together to have a point to push Arteta out? Because it's going to take a lot of people, it's going to take a lot of a movement, it's going to take some kind of movement, basically. And if we don't have that kind of movement properly reinforced, then how are we going to pull the whole thing off? We're not going to pull the whole thing off, are we? So it's a little bit tricky. I just need to go on my phone just for 1 second. I just need to just check something. I want to just check something. I want to check, see if how it looks on my thing. I should be live. There we go. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. What the hell was that about? What I was talking about was the fact that for many years now, because nothing has changed, nothing has changed in respect of what I'm about to talk about. It's been for many years a nothing burger. It's nothing. Nothing has changed with the healthcare in the NHS. And it's like, we tried our best to make it a little bit better, or to make it some kind of better than we would have. And the healthcare system just remains the same as it is. It remains as poor as it was. And I'm in the healthcare system, and I'm trying to be a little bit careful because I don't want to, say something maybe I shouldn't say or whatever, or get me into trouble. But the way that the healthcare system is set up is, from an insider looking in, it's not good. It's not good. And it's good to see you, AJ. Good to see you, AJ, man. I was going to ask you, like, actually, are you a mod on Lee's channel? Because I am blocked on Lee's channel on my name. I think it's Rob Future. So if you could unblock me, that'd be great. Because I don't know why I'm blocked. I have no idea. It's just one of those things that happens sometimes. Like one of the other mods, I know there's loads of mods probably set me off. Anyway, having worked in mental health care, I know the truth as well. Yeah, I mean, whoops, there we go. Having worked in healthcare, I know the truth as well. Yeah, so the truth is that there are quite a few things that are blocking proper medical pathways and sort of like recuperative pathways. Hell, I'll learn at some point to pronounce my own language properly. Recuperative pathways. Because it's it's tricky because it's a big business, isn't it? It's big business, and this is the problem that we have. We have to. I mean, it's like we shouldn't have to. Don't get me wrong, but we unfortunately find ourselves in a situation where you know we are kind of like bending at the will of the medical companies and the companies that make these big medications and all this kind of stuff. We're constantly bending ourselves at the will of that to some degree. Um, I don't think that's going to last that much longer. I think you've probably got about 10 years of that left. But for the next 10 years, we're doing this. So I think maybe even 5 years. I think maybe even 5 years. I think we're approaching a period where we're getting very, very advanced quite quickly. And and in terms of medication, it's a little bit of a tricky one because like obviously medication is very, very different. There's lots of different sort of like avenues and pathways of like illnesses. So, you know, I think it's going to be a little bit more tricky in that respect. However, you know what's not working, right? So that's the kind of thing. Um, no, I'm not in the mood for a lead, so I'll be there. Well, yeah, we're not always in the mood for that. What I enjoyed the other day when we were chatting away the other day, when I did I think it was the 10-hour thing I did. What I did enjoy about that was the fact that you knew who Jason Williams was, and it's like it's very, very rare that you actually find someone who knows who Jason Williams is. And Jason Williams is one of the most gifted basketball players that all of us who like watching basketball and think basketball is a good thing have figured out. Jason Williams is one of the best talents that we've ever seen. And the fact that you kind of like came in there and were kind of like talking about it was interesting, definitely interesting. I don't know if he's still here, AJ, because he may have gone because that thing has gone up to zero, and then there we go. There we go. Anyway, so I can't remember what the hell I was trying to talk about. But the thing is, like, we are here now. We are here, and we are here in London, UK. We are in London, UK. It's 2 a.m., by the way. It's 2 a.m. And that's kind of irritating. It's not that irritating, but it's kind of irritating a little bit. So we got to crawl our way through the next bit. So where is so also it's about the washed out beers. Okay, so I don't see anything else. So what we'll talk about is like I'm gonna have to like get like a few things stacked up to talk about because like the thing that I used to grow up with is like I used to grow up in the countryside, and the countryside was a place where it was just like okay, so there's not that much to think about. So what I was always thinking about people who were kind of like growing up and trying to sort of like relate to the way that we are trying to grow up with the things that we're trying to grow up with is that like in the past people have not had the same amount of influence, the same amount of distractions, the same amount of this, that, or the other that they can make it kind of like they they feel kind of like worried about or all this kind of stuff. So if you were growing up in the 80s, you did not have the internet. If you grow up in the 90s, you kind of had the internet a little bit, but it's not quite so much. And if you grew up in the 2000s and the 2010, and this kind of stuff. So that's the kind of formula moving forward. So when you want to look at what the internet was doing in the mid 90s, when you want to look at that, and when you want to look at what the hell is going to happen going forward into, so there are certain things that are going to be a little bit disappointing in terms of kind of like, it's going to be difficult to kind of like block things out. Things that are in low orbit, anyway, there's a planet and there's things orbiting the planet, and you have to kind of like stop those things. However, other than that, it gets kind of like long trying to think about that. So the Fermi paradox is another one as well. Why is the Fermi paradox a thing? I can't know. I don't know if I even can like type. Okay, I'm actually telling. I am actually talking. Okay. Well, the thing is, like, what annoys me a little bit about this whole thing is, like, you are supposed to be acting like a big club. You are supposed to be acting like a club that gets things done. However, when it comes to getting things done with the biggest players, you don't know how to act. And that's kind of annoying. That is kind of annoying, to be honest with you. It's annoying because why would you do something different to that? Why would you not know how to behave like a big club? And that's all you kind of do. That's all you kind of do. And it's a bit annoying. It's a bit annoying, but let's see what they're saying. Let's see what they say. Okay, let's go. Let's have a little look at X. Let's go. Why did I even do this? I'm such a dickhead. So here we go. Blah, blah, blah. Here we go. So, Jess Davidson, here you are. Fuck off. Arsenal close to securing Victor Gyökeres on Sporting Lisbon. No, we're not. Well, we kind of are. We kind of are. Where's Car Stupid? Is Car Stupid? Dubois pre-fight party, a destruction of it. Do you know what? I think that Dubois, like the whole thing with Dubois and Usyk is that Dubois was like mad disrespectful. I think Dubois was mad disrespectful, and I also think that like he was never ever wanting to win that. Like he was looking for an excuse to quit, and you could see it in his eyes. You could see it in his eyes. He was like, "Okay, yeah, good, good, yeah, it's good. I have an actual opportunity now to quit." It was just like you could see it. You could see it in his fucking eyes, man. You could see it in his fucking eyes. Okay, what's this? The first statement refers to the majority of men who are not criminals, and crying is usually not criminal. Right. Okay, so men aren't allowed. Okay, so we're yeah. So it's all about this sort of like big thing here. So let's read it together. Men being awful. So it's like it's a count that has a go at men. Men aren't allowed to cry. Blah blah. Okay, so fucking do it anyway. You're not allowed to rape either. Yet here you fucking are. Why are you obeying this? Yes, because you're all rape people. Okay, okay. Just another nonsense thing. Yes, because you all rape people. Don't be you stupid bitch. Because it is a bitch who is running that account. It's quite clear, isn't it? It's quite clearly a fucking bitch. But anyway, big up AJ. Sorry, you're big up AJ. Yeah, sorry, I was just like, hang on, is this actually sharing now? Fuck it. Shit. Anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna keep going on this. Yeah. So fuck me. I mean, look, where the hell is the thing I just was trying to? Okay, so yeah, so this men are allowed to cry, crying emojis. Okay, so fucking do it anyway. Blah blah blah. Redacted. You're not allowed to redacted rape either. Yet here you fucking are redacted. Why are you obeying this rule and not the other one? Well, no one's obeying the rule. No one's obeying the rule. You're just highlighting shit that's happened. You're just highlighting shit that's happened. Misandrist Miku. Misandrist Miku. All right, fair play. Piss off, misandrist. Yeah. So there we go. So anyway, we go through Twitter. Miss Gorgeous. Okay, here, let's have a look at what Miss Gorgeous has to say. Miss Gorgeous with a double S. I mean, let's have a look at how her face looks for a start. Right. Okay. Miss Gorgeous. That's Miss Gorgeous, by the way, guys. Miss Gorgeous. Heavily everything. Look at the fucking look at the lips. Look at the fucking eyebrows. Yeah, heavily everything. Yeah. All right. Fucking whatever. Miss Gorgeous. All right. In your opinion, Miss Gorgeous says it is a man's job to set the tone in a relationship, whether people want to admit it or not. A woman feeds off his energy. Well, yes, that is true, because he leads. His consistency, his intentions, his presence. She takes what he gives and reflects it, believe it or not. Yeah, but that's kind of like a get out way of saying, like, I'm just fucking lazy. Again, it's lazy. It's laziness. It's just like, it's what she's doing there is she's describing how women are, generally speaking, lazy into a degree of like either they're just reactive or whatever. They don't because they don't take the lead. Obviously, they don't take the lead. I don't particularly want a woman to take the lead, but I'm just saying that like if we're going to do that, which obviously we are as men, we're going to take the lead. Obviously, then you can't moan about it. That's by issue. It's like, well, yeah, no, we don't want to moan about it, Miss Gorgeous. Miss Gorgeous underscore Nez. And that's even, and she's even replying to, hang on, no, she's not replying. Unfortunately, common sense is not common. That's not her comment, but I like that comment anyway. So, yeah, it is a man's job to set the tone in a relationship. It's like, as long as, I mean, it's not ideal for us, but that is true. It is a man's job to set the tone in a relationship because what's the alternative? That's the thing. It's kind of like people might want to talk about like open mindedness or kind of like equality and balance and this kind of thing. But when you think about it, this is quite well put, actually, Miss Gorgeous. Actually, Miss Gorgeous on this Twitter account has put this quite well. It is a man's job to set the tone in a relationship. She's actually not too bad, this girl. And when you set the tone in a relationship, you don't want that tone to be the other way around, right? Because do you want the tone to be her leading? Do you want the tone to be her saying, okay, we're going to go to this restaurant. Okay, I'm going to pay for this. Okay, I'm going to do this and that. That's not what you want, is it? That's not what you want as a man. Oh, okay. So therefore, we do a traditional fucking thing. Let me get the thing back up. Where are we? Oh, most of my fucking StreamYard is pissing me off, man. Yo, okay, yeah, let's 1 second. What on earth is going on for yeah, so what is so AJ, I'm gonna have to take a little break for 1 second. What do you think is going on with the club into okay, actually let me rephrase that. What for fuck's sake, why can't I speak the fucking language that I was bestowed upon? You absolute dickhead. 1 second. What would you rate this window so far without Gokares out of 10? So I know what I would rate it, and I'll come back in just 1 second and then we'll discuss it. We will discuss it in just 1 second. Let me put this off. Yeah, without Gokares, everything outside. Let me just read that. Without Gokares, I'm saying 3 out of 10. So the thing is, AJ, I thought that what the hell is going on? Anyway, never mind. I thought that without Gorkarez, we're going to struggle to get the top four, and with Gorkarez, we're going to then get into the top four, and that's still none of that is still good enough. None of that is still good enough, and it's very frustrating. And it's very frustrating. I made the point on Northside's channel before as well that there's a lot of Arsenal fans who just seem to be happy with this, and it's very odd to me. It's kind of like, why would you want to be happy? Why are you happy with this? Why are you? I mean, I don't really understand what makes you happy about this. What makes you happy about the Arsenal situation? Okay, yes, so we finished second, second, second. Okay, cool. That's not a, relatively speaking, bad run of finishes. However, this is Arsenal Football Club, so there is a higher expectation for that. Like, you can't just finish second, second, second and get away with it. But he seems to be getting away with it, and I'm getting pissed off, man, because I've been around here. I've not been around here for the last couple of years. I've been around here since 1993. I was in Blackburn when Arsene Wenger came over and had his first game in charge of Arsenal FC. We won 2-0, 2-0. Ian Wright scored in one half. and then he scored in the goal at the other half. Ian Wright scored 2 goals. We won 2-0. Blackburn 0, Arsenal 2, Arsene Wenger's first game in charge. I was sat about one or two. Okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration. I was sat about 5 to 6 meters away from him. I was sat a little bit away from him, but I was very close to him. I was really, really close to him, genuinely. And like he was tall as fuck, man. I remember like seeing this guy Arsene Wenger. I never heard of him before. It was kind of like, oh well, man, this guy's fucking tall as fuck, man. What the hell is going on with this guy? Remember at this point that he had already won the league with Monaco. He had already won the league with the Japanese Grampus 8. So he already had the experience of seeing a team through to the end state of winning a title in that specific pragmatic division. He'd already got that experience. Whereas Arteta didn't have that experience. Arteta is a defensive coach. Arteta remains a defensive coach. And then it's not any surprise that the only fucking like improvements that we've seen is in the defense. It's not that difficult to understand. It's like, as much as look, I'm not oblivious to the fact that Arteta has done a lot of good stuff with Arsenal. He has done a lot of good stuff. However, it is 6 years now. This isn't the first season after. It isn't this season after. It isn't a little It's not like that, man. It's 6 fucking years, mate. 6. So where are your excuses now? Where are your excuses? It's 6 fucking years, man. Where are your excuses? I want to hear them. I want to hear your excuses. And I will put the link on. Look, if anyone wants to jump on and talk to me, I'll put the link in the chat. I'll put the link in the chat. I don't care. Like, just come on and chat. I don't care. If anyone wants to come and defend what we're doing now and defend what he has done in the past 3-4 seasons, since 2023 as well, basically, I suppose, because he changed his mind, didn't he? He changed his mind around 2023. If anyone wants to come and defend that against me. Come on defend it. And AJ asked a good question, actually. Whoa, I didn't even mean to pin that comment, but it's still comment. How do you feel about the number 5? I feel that the person that we've got in isn't good enough to reply. Like, is Zubimendi at the best of his game as good as Partey at the best of his game? No. There we go. So what are we doing? So we've already made this worse. We've already made the whole thing worse. I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy and all that kind of stuff. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not trying to be like, oh, well, we should all be kind of like down about things and blah, blah, blah. I'm not trying to be like that. But Partey is quite clearly better than Zubimendi. So it gets a bit tricky. It's going to get way more tricky, actually. It's going to get way more tricky, and if Goycrest doesn't come in, it means that we're going to be look. Do you think what do you think is going to be the starting lineup for the Man United game, AJ? Because I think that Noni Madueke is starting. I think that what Arteta is doing is he's bringing Madueke to play on the left-hand side. This is obviously not what we want to hear. It's not what we want to hear. It's not what the fans want to hear. It's not what we like to talk about between each other. However, I do think that this is kind of what Arteta is leaning towards. I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Opening game, away. Noni Madueke is on the left. Saka's on the right. Let's hope that Goycrest is down the middle. Luckily for us, Amorim is still the manager of Man United at this time. because you know that is going to help us a lot. It's amazing that I think it's amazing that he stayed in a job. Like, I don't know what your thoughts are, AJ, or anyone else that's listening. Amarim in his job at Man United it's been quite incredible that he's stayed there. Like it's I don't really know what words to use to describe. I'm not usually kind of that lost for words or anything, but like the fact that Amarim is still here is absolutely incredible by him. And I've gone out in the past and I've said that, Mikel Arteta, fair play to him. Not that I like him that much as a man, but he has come in and raised his wages and he's kind of like got things working properly in his favor. And he's kind of like manipulated that and been Machiavellian and all that kind of thing. Ruben Amorim is still to so much degree worse. He's just so much degree worse. And yet, he is still in a job. He is still plowing along. It is bizarre to me. I mean, it is absolutely bizarre. I mean, it's just like, fucking hell, man, honestly. I need to, sorry. I'm going to see the clip here. Yeah, the wall. Ray Lewis Gabriel Mendes. Yeah, I think that's a good Raya MLS. Yeah, Gabriel Magalhaes. But that's a decent look at that back four is decent, man. Lewis Skelly, Gabriel Magalhaes, Saliba. The thing is with that back four, you kind of and Timber as well. Sorry, with Timber as well. Raya, MLS, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber. It's a back four that has a cohesion. It's a back four that has some sort of communication, sort of like they know how to communicate with each other. If that makes any kind of sense. Zubamendi, Rice, Odegaard, Saka, Kai. Why is Kai Havertz in the team, AJ? I should block you. What the hell is going on? Why is Kai Havertz in the team, AJ? Unbelievable. We're not having Kai Havertz in our team, AJ. Oi, AJ, come on. Why is Kai Havertz in the team? Okay. I think we're going to bottle Victor. Do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me because it's kind of. Do you know what fucked me up a little bit about this whole thing? Is that I really expected us to announce this today. Obviously, we're now Tuesday. Technically, it's the 22nd of July. The fact that Arsenal haven't announced it as a sort of Monday thing, that is not that great. And I kind of think it's going to get done, but it's going to be dragged on. It's going to be dragged on, man. It's going to be dragged on, mate. And I want us to get Eze. Let's get this up. Also, why have we paid Eze? I want us to get Eze. Like, I would much rather us sort out Eze than like the Rodrigo deal and all this kind of stuff. Like, we were never going to get Rodrigo anyway. I said for a long, long time that we were never ever going to get Rodrigo. It's just Rodrigo's one of those players that you're not going to get. Basically, I don't want to describe it even more than that. But yeah, so I think with regards to Guacares, I think we're going to get him, but I think we're just going to like. I mean, what's basically happening with the Guacares situation is they're kind of getting a bit kind of caught up in conversation about the 1 million, 2 million little like price tags and the add-ons and all this kind of stuff. So I think they're kind of like just haggling over add-ons a little bit, which is kind of annoying, but it's just kind of the way it is, unfortunately. Had my birthday Saturday. Oh, is it your birthday Saturday? Fucking hell, I didn't realize. So I've actually got all the way. Yeah, well, we've all got older. Yeah, exactly. So big up birthday, AJ, man. Fucking hell. Do I? Can we ask how old? I don't know. Like you're. Oh no, actually no. You're 20. I know how old you are because you told me, isn't it? Yeah, I know how old you are, and it's much younger than me. Because it's yeah, much younger than me, and fine, that's okay. It's all right anyway, because obviously, ultimately, we are all eternal consciousnesses. So I don't really mind that much. If you're an eternal consciousness and you understand that you're an eternal consciousness, you genuinely don't mind too much about other people's birthdays, but you enjoy the banter. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so I hope you had a good birthday, AJ, man. Really, I genuinely mean that. Like, hope you had a good birthday. Um, yeah, I just start saying I had this thing where like every time I say I do like 10 press ups. So I need to kind of like get that back in. Oh no, that's the same thing. What the fuck is going on with my YouTube? My YouTube is fucking up. Okay, my YouTube is okay. It's working fine. I don't know if that. I don't know if anything messed up there, but like, yeah, my YouTube is working okay. So anyway, so what I was doing is I was just like going through the X stuff. So I'm just going to do a little bit of going through the X stuff, AJ. So just bear with me a sec. So let's go back into this. But you know what? I'm going to go for a wee first. I need to have a wee. Sorry, just bear with me 1 second. I'll be back in like. Anyway, oh, this is. I don't know if that's. Is that coming out? I think the. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I think that is. I think the microphone is working anyway. So, like, let me know if the microphone isn't working and I sound like silent, but I think it is working. Anyway, what I was like saying on Northside's channel before is that these people are so mad hypocritical, because if there was any other manager, it doesn't matter if his name is Mikel Arteta, it doesn't matter if it's a fucking woman, it doesn't matter if it's a child. If there was any other manager in charge of this football club for 6 years without a major trophy, all of these men who are kind of like apathetic, or at least kind of like, sympathetic to Arteta and the fact that he hasn't won anything, all of these men will be chasing those guys down and taking the piss out of them. If Liverpool had a manager who had spent 6 years not winning anything, all of these men who support Arteta would be taking the piss. If Man United had a manager and they kept him for 6 years who hadn't won anything, all of these men would be taking the piss. If Man City had a manager, if Man City sacked Pep and they brought in another manager and they had him regulating the games as usual, and he didn't win anything for 6 years, you best believe all of these men who want to back Arteta, they would 100% be taking the piss. They would. They'll be taking the piss and they'll be like cruising it along. And they'll be like, oh, well, and they'll be giving all these kind of motions and movements. But because it flicks across into our realm, into the current Arteta Arsenal realm, they don't want to do it. And it's annoying. It's annoying to me, that lack of consistency. It's not so bad if you want to be kind of like, okay, well, this is my thing, I've done my heels in and blah, blah, blah. But if you're not going to be consistent about it, I'm not, it's going to piss me off, man. It's going to piss me off. Yes, AJ. Yeah, everything working well. Yeah, okay, cool, man. Yeah. So I didn't know whether I was like doing it properly. But also, you raised a good point that you had before about Lutman. What I would want to have happen as well is Conceição. Conceição went for 30 million. Can you imagine? He went for 30 million, man. And here we are pissing about with 52 million, or like, the 48 plus the add-ons with Madueke. Conceição went for 30 fucking million. In fact, let me just find that fucking thing, man. Let me just find that fucking price tag. 30 million Conceição. I can't even spell Conceição. Oh, God's sake. This is going to be a bit of a difficult one because I can't spell it. I'm going to have to just go, fuck's sake. 30 million. This is going to backfire. Conceição. Oh, fuck's sake. This is the problem because I can't spell. So that's the south. Man. This isn't doing anything. Balls to it. Anyway, let's see what AJ said. In my opinion, so Gabriel Martinelli and Trossard and Badlerman and Rissa. Lutman and Visser would definitely be an upgrade on Martinelli and Trossard. I think so. I think that's like a reasonable thing to say. Martinelli's best season is now beyond him. It's not happening ever again. And that's just an unfortunate reality. It's just an unfortunate reality. It's unfortunate because, like, we all know how he has this kind of like potential and this capability and all this kind of stuff. But Martinelli is not able to get to that point again. That is the point. He can't get to that point again. And Trossard is just, he has that potential and it's not consistent enough. Lutman and Visser, they definitely kind of do a bit of an upgrade, to be honest with you. Or do they? Like, do you know what? Martinelli in his best phase is better than Lutman. Wissa in his best phase is better than Trossard. So it's a bit of a tricky one. Bit of a tricky one, man. But also, AJ, we ain't getting any of them. You know that what's going to happen. The point is, what's going to happen is that Nani Madueke is playing left wing. Nani Madueke is playing left wing next season, bro. AJ, this is the thing that we're going to have to be fucked with. Nani Madueke is playing fucking left wing next season, and this is going to be like the horribleness that we have to figure out. So yeah. So anyway, back to where I've looked the what the fuck is going on with this stupid bitch thing? Can you see this? I think you can see this. Okay. Okay. Anyway, yes. Sorry about the slight pause there. So here we go. So anyway, so my notifications are just like people just trying to like be unpleasant to me. So yeah. Yeah. So the thing is, like, what I would likely usually do is kind of like just go into kind of like different galaxy type universe type interesting sort of like things, and I know that's not for everyone. It's not for everyone, but I still kind of like try to do it. And yeah, okay. So okay. So AJ, is my thing actually show? Okay, so I don't know actually what's going on. So hang on one second. Rodrigo's not coming. Rodrigo's not coming. So the thing for me is Rodrigo is being kind of used as this kind of smokescreen to kind of allow us to think a little bit differently or allow us to be kind of. I need to stop saying kind of. Okay, I can't say that again. I can't say kind of. No more saying kind of. No more saying kind of. Rodrigo was just a fantasy, basically. Because we the money that Rodrigo. We ain't doing it. We all know deep down that Nani Madueke is going to be the fucking left winger. When we set up against Man United, it would not surprise me whatsoever that Nani Madueke is going to be starting on a fucking against Man United. Nani is going to start on the left against Man United, man. Another thing I have been saying all summer, AJ says, another thing I have been saying all summer, trade Odegaard for Eze. Well, yeah, I mean, how can you argue with that? You definitely can't argue with that. What I think a lot of people would argue is that you keep them both to have the two-pronged attack. You have the sort of like if one gets injured and all this blah blah blah. But obviously, I get the point of what you're saying that Eze is better. Eze is better, obviously. Eze is definitely better. It's not like an issue whatsoever. Odegaard has played God knows how many games. He's 5 6. My thing is, well, hang on, what's going on here? Am I still live? Fucking hell. What the hell? Okay, I think I'm live. I think I'm still live. Okay, anyway, never mind. What I was going to say is Odegaard does not have the moxie, man. He doesn't have that stuff about him. He doesn't have that thing that is going to carry you through to the end. He doesn't have that thing that is going to push you to that final stage. And this is what I kind of keep repeating again and again and again. It's my screen's gone off. Fucking idiots. I think it's back. I think I'm okay. Okay. Okay, anyway. Yeah. So I need to recalibrate slightly. Yeah, so what we're saying, so the Arsenal leader showing standards and love that, and in my opinion, is it? Oh, look, Matt, look. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with that, AJ. I mean, it's kind of like Odegaard is one of the most overrated players that explanation is. What I think was his problem was that Ozil ended, and then Odegaard sort of came in slightly. People wanted to put the piece, and that wasn't the case. You know, that wasn't the case. So you want to try to make it. You want to try to make it better. So